The Fourth Estate. Breaking news. Alberta reveals spending plans. Wear your face mask. COVID-19 is airborne. NHL player set dates to resume play. With your news anchors, Nikki and Solrak, reporting live at Talala's Radio Worldwide.
Here we are again, the Fourth Estate. Siyempre, you're back here with your host, Solrak, and of course, my partner, Sir Nicky.
Yes, Solrak, another Friday night, and welcome to TFE. And tonight is a very special night, Solrak. We're gonna have the good ambassador of the Philippines to Canada, Ambassador Rodolfo B. Robles, shortly here. And also we have some guest panelists tonight that we will be discussing about the people in Canada, migrants in Canada, as well as credentials qualification here in Canada.
Yes, Sir Nicky, and siyempre, very special guests. So I would like to mention their names. Siyempre, we're going to be bringing in tonight Enrique Mendoza. He is here from Calgary, and I believe two of our other guests will be coming from your side of the town, Sir Nicky. Would you kindly introduce them, please?
Yes, we are going to have immigration consultant Marjorie Newman, as well as a former lawyer and currently businessman Hermo Pagtakan.
Very good, Sir Nicky. Well, as always, of course, we just want to touch up on things. But before anything that we go further, Sir Nicky, I just want to say hi, and siyempre, kamusta po kayo dyan? I hope all the family is still staying safe and whatnot. So, Sir Nicky, how are you guys?
Well, Solrak, we're trying to keep safe here. It's a good thing that the numbers in Alberta have slowly come down, and congratulations to all Albertans following the health measures implemented by government. And how about at your end there, Solrak, how's the family?
Family is great, Sir Nicky. Thank you for asking. Just like everybody else, we're trying to be staying sane and also staying positive. So, Sir Nicky, I was able to chat with a few of our frontliners, our healthcare workers and whatnot. We just want to give them. I want to give them a shout out, of course, and say thank you for all the sacrifices that you folks have done throughout this pandemic. So, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Definitely, Solrak, that's a lot of people always forget, siguro ang focus nila ngayon is to bring those numbers down, but itong mga doctors natin, mga nurses natin, sila yung nasa front line, and not only the doctors and nurses, right? We have to also commend the cleaners, who keep the environment clean, not just in the hospitals, but also in all the offices and the places that needs to be sanitized.
Yes, mga home care living and whatnot. Siyempre, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Siyempre, you keeping everybody safe and also, wellness and whatnot. So, maraming salamat po sa inyo once again. And with that being said, Sir Nicky, here are today's COVID-19 stats here in Alberta. So, as of today, we have a total of 115,370. But, Sir Nicky, again, great news. We have 785 new cases out of that. So we have gone down, quite a bit from, what we've been hearing in the last month or so. Unfortunately, there is now a total of 1,402, and basically we had 13 new deaths. 796 currently in the hospital, 124 in ICU. So it is down compared to the day before. So 13,575 tests conducted, so negative of 5.8% of that, Sir Nikki. So again, that's, to me, it's sounding, somehow positive, diba? So it's numbers are coming down, and with the help of everybody staying, safe and following the measures, again, we can all help and bend this curve.
Yes, definitely, Solrak. Numbers don't lie, so it's proof that the public health measures are working. I know we want to get out of the public measures, right? Go back to our normal, but the sooner we get these numbers down, then the quicker we get out of the public health measures.
Speaking of measures and going back to normal, Sir Nikki, as of January 18th, so next week, there will be the government has eased some of the measures, like what is it? The going to the barbers, going to the mga manicuristas, yung mga ganito, at yung mga by appointments only, though. No walk-ins, I believe, from what it is. So they're slowly opening up our small businesses and whatnot, and hopefully, it will trickle down with the help of everybody. Once again, we'll get there, and soon enough, next thing we'll know. Hopefully, I'm very hopeful for this, that everybody will start going back to work.
Yes, definitely. So yan ang target ng government, is to get the economy back on its feet, and without your help, hindi mangyayari yan. So thank you for staying safe. Thank you for following the public measures, putting on your mask and keeping distance.
Sir Nikki, with that being said too, another thing that has come down earlier today was our health minister Shandro says today that from news from Pfizer, it's going to be a little bit of a slow process that's happening for us here in our province with regards to the vaccine rollout. Shipments to Alberta will still continue, but they will contain fewer doses, according to Sir Shandro, to our Minister Shandro. Yun nga daw, medyo merong konting delay with regards to the deliveries due to the production issues. So sana naman wala namang mga mali-maling nangyayari, or ibang mga sitwasyon na nangyayari na hindi natin alam. Sana totoo ang mga sinasabi nila at medyo may konting issues lang.
Yes, the way it looks, obviously the demand is too high, right? As far as that is concerned, because Pfizer is not just supplying Canada, it's supplying the rest of the world as well. But the good news there, Solrak, as well today, was that I learned that Johnson's & Johnson's also have a vaccine already that would require only a single shot. So that's definitely the good news about that. And maybe if there's a shortage, maybe the government should look into that as well.
Sir Nikki, well, true enough, and hopefully they will look into that. Sir Nikki, ikaw, let's talk about life in general here right now. Ano yung mga napapansin mo? Because you and I, we both, we're both in a way of frontliner na talaga na nasa labas tayo, and we're helping, with regards to servicing and whatnot. Ano yung mga nakikita mo na pagbabago in terms of towards the yung mga syempre pagbabago na maganda in a way na napapansin nyo at kasi noon I would tell you this, and we both talked about this. Meron pa rin mga tao naglalakad, pumapasok sa mga facilities and whatnot, and they still don't care. They don't want to wear the mask. They don't care for it, and they don't believe in it. Ano yung mga napapansin? Meron ka pa bang napapansin ng mga ganito?
Yes, definitely meron pa rin, there are still some, right, that don't follow the public measures. Just a few days back, I was at the mall. There was at the mall, and I saw this guy. For some reason, he wasn't wearing his mask. Everyone was wearing his mask, and you could easily see it because siya lang yung naiiba, no? So sabi ko, I don't know what he was thinking, but at the same time, I don't know why people are not telling him to wear his mask because, that's mandatory.
Yeah, true enough. And again, ako naman, the reason why I ask is because, I've noticed quite a bit of a change on my end here in Calgary and for where I am. Papansin ko is because a lot of people tend to gather in terms of they want to chit chat or they want to talk or for just yung pang ano lang, di ba? Pag may nakikita kang kakilala mo or something. Nakikita ko ngayon is it's automatic na talagang hindi naman social distancing pero magkakalayo sila. Hindi yung katulad ng araw na makikita mo nag-high five sila, yung mga siyempre medyo na-miss kita, may mga kasama pang mga hug pa dyan, yung mga ganon, di ba? Ngayon, what I've been noticing siyempre, and I think it's part of our practice that we've been doing for almost a year now. It's quite a change, and again, and I think it translates to the numbers that we're seeing now na syempre bumababa na, which is again, I want to invite and I want to ask everybody na syempre, let's keep doing what we've been doing in the last 10 months now na helping to bend the curve or to flatten the curve. So maraming salamat sa mga taong nakikinig at syempre nagpe-pay attention sa mga kalagayan natin ngayon.
Tama. That's that's very important. Solrak, very different, right? As you have said, very different. Lesser interaction right now. Obviously, one of the biggest concerns that we can discuss further is mental health. Obviously, it's a big change. There's a lot of people who are having a hard time adjusting to this pandemic and having so much stress, and mental illness is up, right? So if we look at those numbers, obviously this is unprecedented, right? So walang naman to walang may gusto nito, but we have to face this, and together we can flatten this curve that we need to flatten.
Tama, Sir Nicky. And Sir Nicky, bago tayo mag-introduce ng ating special guest for tonight, guys, we've decided today, sa ating mga nanonood sa atin today, we've decided to talk a little bit less of not necessarily negativity, pero yung mga situation na nangyayari sa atin ngayon. We want to lighten up a little bit here and bring in some positive news to you guys and just talk life in general. Yung mga na-experience natin dito sa Canada, or again, just life in general. I hope you guys can appreciate what we have stored for you guys tonight. Sir Nicky, if you don't mind, kindly please do the honors of introducing our special guest.
Yes, Solrak, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to have tonight the newly designated Ambassador of the Philippines to Canada. It's the Honorable Rodolfo D. Robles, and he is going to be with us tonight, and I have some few questions for the Honorable Ambassador, and I'll start with my first question to the good ambassador. And as the new Philippine ambassador to Canada, what is the top 5 things you want to achieve?
Nikki, gandang sa'yo. Good evening. And I'm grateful that you are having me in your program. At the same time, before I proceed to answer your question, let me first lay a predicate of my mission as ambassador. Kasi alam mo, in our Philippine Constitution, there is a mandate to ensure or to enhance our independent foreign policy. And this independent foreign policy, by the way, is supported by 3 pillars. One of them, the first one, is to secure our national security. The second one is to enhance or to stabilize our economic stability. And the third one is to care for the welfare of the Filipinos. In my case, especially Filipinos here in Canada. And the Filipinos here in Canada, as everybody knows, is quite a number. I think statistics show that it's about 1 million people, 1 million Filipinos here in Canada. And they comprise a very strong number among the people here in Canada now.
As a land of immigrants, Canada has welcomed about 1 million Filipinos and still growing. But the biggest problem is still bridging the gap in the credentials. How do you intend to close the gap so many professionals like doctors and nurses, engineers can start working in their field of expertise?
Well, Nikki, that's a very good question. But I would like first to emphasize the fact that really there are so many Filipinos in this country. In my first 3 months here, I have met most of the leaders of the Filipino communities, of course on screen because we have no other choice but to do it on screen. And as I meet them in groups or individually, I realize how many Filipinos here are doing their part in the enhancement of the economy of Canada. I realize that there are people, Filipinos here, who are very busy in their own activities. There are workers, there are restaurant owners, there are technology people, and they become a very important segment of the economy of Canada. And to tell you very frankly, I'm very proud of their performance, and I hope they will continue to be as industrious and hardworking as the many Filipinos here in Canada. Of course, this does not mean that they have no problems, because they really have problems, and that is what I'll be working on. I will explain to you a little later the things that I intend to do to help our Filipinos here in Canada. And by the way, as far as trade is concerned, there is a joint committee or commission between Canada and the Philippines, and that's where we will discuss basically what they call the free trade agreement. Of course, the details I cannot discuss yet because it will be still agendaed, but that will take care of how to balance the trade between the two countries. In the meantime, I will be explaining to you a little later what specifically I would like to accomplish or do for the Filipinos here in Canada.
What can your office do to encourage universities in Canada to provide training and set up office in the Philippines to pre-qualify and prepare immigrants of the Canadian way so that they can work in their field of expertise?
Nikki, that's the most important question you'll be asking me today, because I think that will be my principal objective, my my mission as ambassador before I leave for this post as ambassador. You see, as I go around and talk to people, the basic problem, as you have mentioned, is many doctors are working as nurses, and nurses as caregivers, and so on and so forth. And that is a very important problem which needs to be addressed. Now, let me tell you my personal approach to this. Right now, we are doing the spade work for what I call, if I may have a hashtag of CES, which means credentials, exchange, and scholarship. Right now, there are scholarships going on. And on this matter, we have already asked our posts in Calgary, in Vancouver, and even in other places to give us an update of the universities that are already offering scholarships, although in very limited number. But as soon as we gather all these things about universities, then we will work out something like we can have exchange programs between students in the Philippines and students from Canada. By the way, politically, this is not done by the federal government, as you know. It is done on a province-to-province basis, and perhaps on a guild or group basis, which means we have to negotiate with the universities and other schools to establish some kind of a scholarship agreement or scholarship grant, and perhaps establish more student exchange programs. And this will be on a university-to-university basis. By the way, there are already scholars being allowed or studying already in Canada. There are about a number of them, and there are also scholars studying in the Philippines. I think in the University of the Philippines, in Ateneo, in a university in Pangasinan. And it's ongoing, but a very minimal number. So my goal is to reach every province in Canada, even if not all of them, but most of them, to establish their own individual provincial relationship between the universities and our universities in the Philippines. And that is as far as scholarships and exchange programs. Now, on the credentials, my initial approach is to have a quota, just to have an opening for our nurses and medical practitioners to be able to enter here and be treated as such, as professionals. I do not expect so many, but if I can establish a quota of about, let's say, 15 doctors and 15 nurses in different provinces, then we can start from there and try to have more of them as the days pass. And that is my goal and that is my mission. Because right now, kailangan ng Canada mga health workers natin. And they also realize that our health workers are very serious and very helpful workers. And I think, if I may say it, they work with their heart. Hindi basta-basta na lang, no? They really work with a human compassion. So, with that, I think I will keep you updated, if you don't mind, as the next couple of months, how we are progressing on this personal project of mine.
The Philippines has banned entry of foreign nationals from Canada until January 15th. What was the reason why Canada was included in the list? Any advice to Filipino Canadians who want to visit their loved ones in the Philippines?
Well, before I answer your question, may I just say that I have met many members of parliament, many bureaucratic leaders, and I have explained to them more or less this project of mine, and they are very sympathetic to my ideas. So I hope this will be a signal for me to proceed with more enthusiasm in the future. Regarding your question about Canadians not being allowed to enter the Philippines, but let me clarify that this is not a situation of make singularly prohibiting Canadians. This is involving many other countries. At least what I know is about more than 20 countries are being involved in this prohibition, and this is really a self-defense mechanism against COVID in the Philippines. And by the way, Filipinos who are properly documented are allowed to enter the Philippines. Of course, they have to go through the normal quarantine business, but they are allowed. They are allowed. Filipinos are allowed. I would just say that it may not be the most propitious time for Filipinos to be going around the world riding planes, and because they become exposed to this very dangerous invisible enemy of ours. So maybe they can wait a little bit for the more advantageous time to visit their relatives. But again, we did not single out Canada or Canadians from entering the Philippines. As a matter of fact, what I heard from news is that even the United States are included in these 20 countries, or more than 20 countries that are not allowed to enter the Philippines. So that is really something we have to do to avoid further cases of COVID in the Philippines.
Words, Ambassador Robles.
Well, Nikki, I would like everybody to know that our embassy is very hardworking, individually speaking. They are doing everything they can in the middle of these difficult times. And most especially, we have encouraged and really push our consular officials to render service to our people on their personal problems. But rest assured that we will not stop. As a matter of fact, we even a Saturday service, so that those who have no time during weekdays can come to the embassy for their documentations or visa problems. And in the meantime, I hope our country, Canada and the Philippines, will have a more friendly and productive relationship. And I also pray that our Filipinos here will be working more and will be facing this problem with faith and confidence. And so I would tell everybody, let's all seek and ask for the blessings of our God. May the Lord protect each and every one of us, and may the Lord guide me in the days to come. Salamat, Nikki, and thank you very much again.
Ladies and gentlemen, yan po si Rodolfo Robles, ang ating ambassador who is at the Philippine Embassy in Ottawa, who was appointed by our President Rodrigo Duterte last year po sa February 22nd, 2020. Ayan po, maraming salamat po sa inyong time. We really appreciate your time, Ambassador Robles. All the best to you, and syempre God bless po sa inyo, at maraming salamat po for stopping in here at the Fourth Estate, syempre with your host here at Soul Rock and ang aking partner na si Sir Nicky.
Yes, Soul Rock, gusto ko lang sabihin bukas tayo, no? Bukas tayo para sa Embahada ng Pilipinas for any messages and the communication for the Filipino people.
Ayan po. Maraming salamat. And guys, we'll be right back here at the Fourth Estate. Siyempre, meron pa po tayong mga special guests here tonight. So, dyan lang po kayo. We'll be right back.
Hi Hi guys, it's Sherry Ann of Tala Loves Radio Worldwide. Tala Lovesers and Tala Loves viewers from all over the galaxy. Don't forget to tune in to Tala Loves Radio Worldwide 24 hours, 7 days a week, only at www.talalovesradio.com. And of course, now our very own app is also available for download. So check that out and you can take us wherever you go with our class trance music, because we are the home of the stars where love resides. Spread the love, love, love. A Sunday of praise with your love DJ, Sherry Ann, from 4 to 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Don't forget to tune in every Mondays, Kikai Girls from 7 to 8 p.m. Because you feel you, I feel me, I feel you, we feel each other, because we are the Kikai Girls.
Angel and Sherry Ann.
Tune in every Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. at Tala Loves Radio, our local radio here in YYC, with your love DJs, Sherry Ann and DJ Soul Rack. Every Fridays, Sai Curry's TV from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time with our DJ, VJ, Sai Curry's, aka DJ Love. Tune in every Fridays from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. for our breaking news live with Carlos and Tita Nikki.
The Fourth Estate.
Check out every Saturday from all day, only at Tala Loves Radio Worldwide at www.talalovesradio.com and our very own app at Tala Loves Radio. Download it now for a top 40 Billboard charts all day long on Saturdays. Please don't forget to check us out also at our very own hub, our very own network at www.talalovesradio.com. That's www.talalovesradio.com. And for the comfort of being able to bring us wherever you go with our 24 hours, 7 days a week class trance music. Because here at Tala Loves Radio, we are the home of the stars where love resides. Tala Loves Radio Worldwide.
The Sai Curry's TV show features a discussion of pop culture topics for kids, including music and social media, presented in English with Tagalog, Saturdays at 9:30 a.m.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back here at the Fourth Estate. Ako, guys, we are very, very excited for our next half of our show here. Sir Nicky, ang dami nating mga kasama tonight, and I think this is gonna be a very, very, ang tawag dito, maraming matututunan ng ating mga kababayan, lalo nga na sa Alberta at syempre at ang buong Canada na nandito, sa nanonood sa atin dito sa The Fourth Estate. Pakilala natin sila, Sir Nicky.
Yes, definitely. We would like to welcome to the house si Sir Eric Mendoza. Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, Solrak?
Yes.
And thank you for joining us. And also in the house is no less than our immigration consultant, Marjorie Newman. And good evening, and thanks for joining us, as well as Attorney Hermo Pagtakan. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Ayan. Well, guys, we've been, me and Sir Nicky here, we've been talking and we've been, parang may na-assemble lang kami in a way of things that we have to learn or we have to know to help our kababayans, siguro not only here in Canada, but syempre mainly here, to a lot of situations that we feel that there's ways that we can be better at. Sir Nicky, we've been talking about katulad ng mga tinanong mong question sa ating ambassador na si Mr. Robles. part of that, I think one of the things that very important was the education. Can we touch up on that a little bit more, Sir Nicky, and maybe our guest can help us out also to further that information.
Alam mo, Surat, napaka-importante nitong talakayan nito, because isa sa mga tinatawag ko na nakalimutan, sa integration into Canadian society is itong credentials ng migrants, So yung mga pumapasok na immigrants, disregardless if they're coming from the Philippines or any part of the world, pag pumasok sila dito, kailangan harapin nila ang buhay Canada na tinatawag natin. Itong buhay Canada is tough, right? Because for example, if you're coming from the Philippines, isang example lang yun, doon sa Pilipinas mainit. Pagdating mo dito sa Canada, napakalamig. Nag-adjust ka sa weather, nag-adjust ka sa pagkain, ibang pagkain, And then marami pang ibang bagay na pinag-a-adjustan. And then now you're faced with hopes that you're gonna get a better life. And obviously, lahat tayo pumunta ng ibang bansa, to see a better future for our children, right? So, land of opportunity ang Canada. Pero pagdating mo dito, you're facing a blank wall and saying, okay, yung credentials ko ba, kung abogado ka sa Pilipinas or kung nurse ka sa Pilipinas, tinatanggap pa dito. Unfortunately, hindi. Kailangan i-challenge mo yun. And so sa dami ng ina-adjust mo, maraming bagay din ang nakakalimutan. Yung mga basic stuff, right? So yun ang gusto kong pag-usapan na kung paano natin matulungan ng mga kababayan natin to integrate into society faster. And this is the reason why tonight I made sure and made it very important to have immigration consultant Marjorie Duman, because she will be a very good resource for this, as well as Attorney Pagtakan, who was practicing lawyer for 20 years in Canada.
Sir Nicky, before we start, I just want to say something, May I?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. When I was migrating to Canada, I attended the thing in the Philippines, yung tinatawag na PDOS o Pre-Departure Orientation Seminar, para to orient us with the culture, the environment, and the things we can expect when we migrate to Canada. However, practically speaking, even though you attend that seminar, you won't still be able to appreciate kasi it's something new, di ba? Hindi mo ma-appreciate yun. So, there is really still the need na i-orient sila dito. And that's where our community, through participating organizations or a group of professionals can help our newly landed immigrants in making their adjustment to Canadian life easier, facilitate the adjustment to Canadian life, di ba? Yun lang muna bago natin umpisa. I just want to mention that we have such pre-departure orientations. I don't know if they're still doing it now. I attended that mga 40 years ago pa, 35 years ago. So maybe newly landed immigrants can enlighten us on that.
So right.
Yeah, ako naman, I brought one of my good friends, syempre, si Sir Enrique, who's also been in Canada for 40 years. He's seen and a lot of different walks in life. Sir Eric, ano ba yung sa tingin mo? Have you seen any changes, especially here in Calgary, or let's say even in Alberta, with the situation, yung mga taong kakadating lang? Because you've also helped a lot of newcomers here in Calgary na nagtrabaho para sa inyo or sa inyo. Ano ba yung mga sa tingin yung mga nagbago or pagbabago?
Tingin ko mas maraming support ngayon ang mga taong dumadating galing sa Pilipinas. Noon, ang populasyon natin na mga Pilipino, right? By the way, 30 years pa lang ako dito pa, not 40 years.
Oh,
okay. Anyway,
yeah,
so...
40 years old ka lang.
Alin?
Yeah, 40 years old ka lang.
Yeah, tama yun. Anyway, so noon, 30 years ago, kukunti lang ang mga organisasyon na tumutulong sa mga immigrant. Right? So ngayon, mas madali silang mag-adapt siguro sa tingin ko, right? But the challenge to be as an immigrant is paano ka mag-adapt, sa culture nila, right? Kasi ang tanong mo sa sarili mo, are Canadians as polite as Filipinos? Are they as respectful as Filipinos, right? So yung mga tinatanong natin sa sarili na ganun, right? So kasi to be successful, or pag maging Canadian ka is you have to be like them too, right? Sagot sa tanong mo, changes, yes, malaking pinagbago.
So, Marjorie, matanong lang kita, no? So, as far as immigration laws are concerned, changes pagdating ng mga new immigrants dito, may pagbabago ba ever since? May improvement ba? Is there such an orientation going on when they land in Canada? And what are the measures that the government has taken to improve this?
Good evening, Sir Nicky, Sir Solrak, sa lahat. Magandang gabi po, maayong gabi kung na mga Bisaya na watching us right now. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Anyway, so foreign credential evaluation or evaluation is an integral part with Canadian immigration po. When you apply for permanent residence through Express Entry, Federal Skilled Worker Program, Federal Skilled Trade, Canadian Experience Class, kailangan na nila yung foreign credential. You have to go through third-party evaluation credential assessment. When you apply ngayon sa bagong caregiver program, the home child care pilot and the home support worker pilot, kailangan na rin nila ng credential evaluation. Like for example, sa World Education Services or sa IQAS. And then in response yung sasagot kanina, yung PDOS, Pre-Departure Orientation Seminar, it's still going on. Lahat ng pumapasok na immigrant, kahit yung mga bata pa, except for minor, they have to go through that bago sila makakalabas sa airport. It's a requirement. Now, here in Alberta, merong foreign qualification recognition process. And it's available po sa website ng Government of Alberta. It has a step-by-step process po. That process is the process of verifying that the education, skills, and experience obtained in another country like the Philippines meet the licensure standards for safe and competent practice in Canada. Now, as we all know that many occupations in Alberta are regulated. As mentioned by our ambassador earlier, like yung nurses, mga healthcare workers, which means they have to be licensed by a provincial professional regulatory organization, or in short, PRO or PRO, to work in that occupation. Now, other common terms that mean the same thing as regulated, pareho lang siya, regulated or certified. They mean the same thing. So, what is the role of the PRO? Or the provincial regulatory organization. So I strongly suggest to kababayans in Alberta na ito po yung first step. Okay? We go through the website of Government of Alberta and doon hanapin natin yung foreign qualification recognition. It will tell you the step-by-step process. So what does the PRO do? It assesses if you have the necessary qualifications to meet the licensure requirements to work in Alberta. Now, the assessment will include the following: education, work experience, and proficiency in English. Now, lahat ng a-applyan natin ngayon sa Canada, whether federal program or provincial program, even mag-apply ka ng citizenship, Canadian citizenship, nagre-require na ngayon ng English proficiency. So, kailangan prepared ka na talagang there is no wala kang choice. part talaga yun sa assessment process.
I think that's very important, Marjorie. We've seen, not being singling out yung mga nakapasok na immigrants dito sa Canada. Marami po tayong nakikita diyan na nagtatrabaho ngayon, na hindi marunong mag-English, So yung isa sa mga requirement ng ngayon ng Canada is yung IELTS nga na kailangan marunong kang mag-English. Bukod diyan may French, no? But itong mga nakapasok ng iba, nagtatrabaho, they're working frontline but they don't even speak English.
Yeah, but then there are so many immigrant centers or immigrant serving communities like our Catholic Social Services and so on and so forth. Marami po sila. There is a complete list here in Alberta ng sa website din ng Alberta government wherein they can take English classes for free because these agencies po are paid or supported or funded by the government. So, I strongly suggest na they contact yung mga immigrant serving communities kasi free po sila yung close sa kanila, sa kanilang location, and then they have to take the time a few hours in the week to take that classes. I'll give you an example. I have clients, from Lebanon, from non-speaking countries, and then kahit anong gawin nila, hindi sila makapasar-pasa. Pero they're immigrants kasi they're sponsored by their spouses, from Europe, from Africa. Talaga yung language is a barrier. So, ang ginawa po nila, merong language instruction for newcomers. So, they go to school, they attend that LINC, L-I-N-C, and then once they pass that course, for a few months, they get a certificate, then yun yung ginagamit namin, sinasubmit namin to apply for Canadian citizenship kasi wala nga, hindi nakatapos ng post-secondary education, tsaka hindi rin makapasa-pasa ng either IELTS or CELP. So, may ways naman po. Kaya lang, they have to take the time.
So, thank you, Marjorie. So, Rak, we were talking about itong mga basic daily common tasks ng newcomers in Canada na kailangan they have to get used to it. Okay? So, ito yung mga bagay na pinag-usapan natin tungkol doon sa paano ba sila sumakay ng bus, pag dumating sila, especially if you're coming from another country. So kung sa atin sa Pilipinas paparahin mo lang anytime, and dito sa Canada may makikita ka na pinapara nila yung bus. Solrak, ano masasabi mo doon?
Ako yun, nung una, pinapara ko sa bus stop.
Parehas tayo dyan. Ako, guilty ako dyan. Guilty ako dyan. Hinahabol ko pa yung bus. Sabi ko, sira ulo to. Bakit hindi man lang huminto? Nakita na ako kumako. Diba? Pero yon hindi natin naiisip, hindi na ituturo. So, ibig sabihin na
may gap
talaga dahil again, is something na kala natin napaka-common sense, even just commuting, even just finding a way to commute from one place to the other. Kala natin napaka-simple, pero hindi. Di ba? Nandoon yun na meron ng bus stop, okay? Pero hindi pa yon. Kailangan malalaman mo kung anong oras darating yung bus. Merong routes, di ba? Meron niyang designated stops na hindi natin alam, di ba? So, yun, I think even that is a very little thing, pero hindi yan napag-uusapan, hindi yan nasasabi. Sinasabi nila malamig. Sa Baguio, siguro abot ng 6 degree, di ba? Mag-jacket kayo sa Canada o sa Alberta, siguro -20 yan. Dalawahin mo lang yung jacket, okay ka na. Di ba? Parang ang daling sabihin pero hindi mo talaga maituturo at hindi mo maisasabi kung paano mo magagawa yun in your daily life.
So siguro that's a very interesting, Sir Nicky, if I may. That's a very interesting point mentioned by Solrak. Actually, there are, like what Mr. Enrique Mendoza mentioned, there are now a lot of organizations that are trying to help the newly landed immigrants and maybe government programs. But the thing is, practically speaking, yung mga bagong landed immigrants, nahiya sila na di ba? Minsan, siguro they are old or overwhelmed, they are hesitant to approach yung mga programs na yon. And also, yung mga programs na gano'n are structured. what I mean structured, very formal. Hindi katulad ng sinabi ni Sorak na dapat siguro within our community, meron tayong task force or committee na i-form na of different professionals and the different interest groups or people, who will instruct the newly landed immigrants on the practical do's and don'ts. Katulad niyan, sinabi nga ni Sorak, ako rin, guilty ako nung bagong dating ako, first day yata, magbabasa ako. Kumakamay akong ganyan, di ba? So tuturo yun, Sir Nicky eh. And then another one, may nagsabi rin sa akin, ito, sabi niya, nung bagong dating ako, I went to Safeway, nagtanong ako, do you have tasty? Sabi niya, tasty. Sa atin kasi, ice bread, tawag natin tasty, di ba? Yung mga simple like those, hindi na-address yun ng mga formal programs o ng mga immigrant resettlement organizations as a topic. Di ba?
Yeah.
So, may gap talaga may gap eh.
So, before we go any further, ito na napakagandang talakayanan na to. And salamat talaga sa mga sinabi ninyo na nakakatulong sa ating mga new immigrants. Sana nanonood sila. Before we go any further, Sir Eric, anong ma-share niyo, sir? Do you have any experiences as far as the bus is concerned nung pagdating ko dito sa Canada?
Hindi bus kundi trend. Pinipindot ko yung pala yung pinto sa kabila pala. So yung platform na sa kabila pala. So buti na lang yung pinto hindi bumukas kasi walang platform doon.
I see. Okay. How about
Marjorie?
Marjorie, can you share?
The rose among the thorns.
Yes.
Very embarrassing yung experience ko. I don't even want to share this live.
Okay lang. Ikaw naman, Marjorie.
Very embarrassing kasi I took yung bus. Hindi ko alam kung saan ako bababa. So, it took me mga hours pabalik-balik kasi hindi ko alam. And I'm so embarrassed to ask na saan ako pwedeng bumaba. Wala kasi hindi naman nagtanong. So, siguro mga almost an hour, pabalik-balik ako, the same direction. Baka tinitingnan ako ng mga pasahero. Ano ba ginagawa nito? So, that was my embarrassing experience. I just want to share very quickly, na sa mga, yung hindi pa, mga new immigrants, o yung mga parating pa lang, or mga kasi dapat sana may arrival checklist.
Yes.
Oo, dapat find a temporary place to stay, where to shop for food, apply for social insurance number, especially ngayon. You cannot go in person sa Service Canada kasi sarado. So, you can apply for your social insurance number online ngayon. Diba? And then, how to open a bank account. Sana kung mag-aano ng bank account. How to register for the public health insurance, yung sa healthcare natin, and so on and so forth. So yun yung tip ko for tonight. So if you could come up with arrival checklist, andun lahat, it would be easier.
Yes, definitely napaka-importante niyan, kasi syempre nung pinag-uusapan natin itong bus, nakakatawa. Ako, ang experience ko diyan is 1 October night, it was so windy. Galing ako dito sa 170th Street Superstore, and kami ni Mrs. Nagdala-dala ko toilet paper. So, napakalaki ng toilet paper, ang lakas ng hangin, ang lamig-lamig. Sabi ko, paano pa tayo sasakay ng bus at sanihin ko ito? So, those are things na sabi namin ni Solrak na dito sa the Fourth Estate, we want to be a part of the process to help the new immigrants, na kung meron silang mga questions, bukas po kami, sa mga katanungan, and huwag kayo mahiya kasi alam mo, lahat tayo siguro when we arrive, nahihiya tayo magtanong no? Una-una, there's that hindi naman, I don't call it language barrier because magaling tayo mag-English and we can understand English. Kaya lang, medyo naku-culture shock tayo pagdating, no? Hindi natin maraming tayong bagay na nakikita ng iba, no? So natatakot tayong magtanong, and then this is what is preventing us from integrating to society very quickly, right? Pero hindi ibig sabihin na hindi natin na adapt, ang Canadian way, because I know Filipinos can adapt easily. So
Sir Nick,
yeah.
Sir Nicky and guys, I hope you can jump on this conversation too. We all know the reason why we migrated. We left our motherland. It's to work, diba? It's to work and to find a better life, diba? So now let's talk about work. If you guys don't mind, let's talk about work. Kasi ito, I think it's one of the best, I think, conversation that we can offer sa lahat ng mga newcomers, beginners, or sa mga nag-struggle ng konti. If I may say, kasi a lot of us, we're so dedicated, we're so loyal, diba? Yan ang mga Filipino when it comes to work. Syempre, yung mga first time na mga working experience ko personally, diba? I felt like na parang talagang walang tigil, kailangan talagang makitang, alam mo na, yung style ng Filipino, makita talaga na hardworking ka at pinagpapawisan ka sa ginagawa mo. Let's not do hero work. Let's not do hero jobs. Ang what I mean by that is hindi natin kailangang magpasikat or mag-overdo, di ba? Kasi siguro sa mga bagong nagtatrabaho ngayon, nakikita nila ang daming mga nagtatrabaho, petik-petik lang, or yung mga, di ba, yung mga pasimple-simple lang at nagpapatay oras, yung mga ganito. Siyempre, hindi natin sila kailangan gayahin. Pero, ang best way na maidadagdag ko dito, and I think, and this is why I brought my good friend Sir Eric, who actually I worked for 25 years ago, when I first started work, and Sir Eric here, he used to run a big company here in, not just in Calgary, I believe it's all over Canada. Sir Eric, is that correct?
That was Western Canada.
Okay, Western Canada. And yeah, and well, you can I think you can share that story of yours. Kung gaano karami mong nakita ang mga Filipino at ang mga, syempre, ang mga trabaho na ginawa nila, as a Filipino na may loyalty and hard work.
Yeah, so being loyal sa trabaho mo, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because it will actually reward you, Lalo na yung mga Pilipino na kunyari meron silang profession doon, right? And hindi nila magamit dito, right? To actually, para makuha mo yung gusto mo na wage, is to stick with the company for many years, right? Para makuha mo lahat yung gusto mo, yung wage na gusto mo, right? But you don't have to be loyal kung sa tingin mo na yung trabaho, if the work is not for you, then nahihirapan ka, right? So, yun ang ko na, 10 years sa trabaho will help new immigrants kung kontento na sila doon, right? Because sooner or later, angat yung sweldo mo, mapopromote ka. Kumukha ng trabaho ko, yung una kong trabaho that was mobile shred. I worked there for 13 years, right? And nilay off lahat yung mga tao, right? And nagtaka ako yung pinakamalalit, sa mababa, ako lang iniwan nila. I was the only one that they left, the ownership. I was surprised. So siguro may nakita sila sa akin because I come into work every day, right? And yun. And yung sweldo ko tumaas, obviously, right? So, yun ang story. So, be loyal kung gusto nyo, but you don't have to kung yung trabaho mo is not for you, right? And ma-advise ko sa mga bagong immigrant is to feel at home. Feel at home because Canadians are very good people, right? Especially here in Calgary. They're polite, they're respectful, right? And it's a good place to be.
Thank you.
So, Solrak, balikan natin. We were talking about jobs here in Canada. Siguro sa mga in the course of job jobs through the years, kung yung mga nauna dito, katulad nila Tony Herm and ni Eric, maybe Tony Hermo can pitch in some insights on that, working here in Canada. What is life or working here in Canada?
Like newly landed immigrants, when I came over here, I faced the dilemma. Sabi ko, kasi lawyer ako sa atin, di ba? So sabi ko, am I going to pursue accreditation dito or magtrabaho na ako? Kasi I started a family then. I have the daughter already. So kinakailangan mag-survive din kami. So, pero naisip ko, kung halimbawa na it will take me 2 years or 3 years to complete the accreditation process, 2 years or 3 years will pass. So I might as well na matapos ko yun dahil sa ayaw ko sa gusto, lilipas ng 3 years eh. So ang attitude ko is I might as well finish it para pagkatapos ng 3 years tapos na ako. So what I did is I applied with a law firm and at the same time I worked from 9 to 5, ano? And then at the same time, after that, I'll take a 30-minute break for dinner. And then I stay in the office from maybe 6 o'clock to 12 midnight or 1 o'clock. Every day yun, kasi kinakailangan mag-review ako. I was required to complete three things. One, pass special examinations in 5 subjects. Yung mga 5 subjects na wala sa Philippines. Kasi ibang Canadian legal system sa Philippines kaysa sa Philippines, ano? Number 2, I was required to write and pass the bar exams. And number 3, I was required to article. Yung articling, parang apprenticeship yon. So I have to complete the articles for 1 year. Ngayon, ano nangyari? I was able to complete everything in less than 2 years. The problem I faced then is they still will not allow me to take my oath kasi hindi ako Canadian citizen. So, sabi ko, siyempre, Filipino tayo, hindi naman sa fighter tayo eh. Sabi ko, may paraan yan, may paraan. So, saka I want to mention, siguro, kung talagang faithful ka, you'll be guided by the Holy Spirit, ano? So, the Holy Spirit will send us ideas through, kasi the Lord will not be speaking to us directly eh. He speaks to us through various modes or medium, like people, messengers, or minsan sa news, minsan sa horoscope. So, nagkataon naman yung office mate ko, may kakilalang MLA. So, nabanggit ko sa kanya, paano bang gagawin natin? Sinuggest niya, kausapin namin yung member of the Legislative Assembly na si Jim Heron. So, agreeable naman, in-sponsor niya yung bill. Actually, the essence of the bill is to exempt me from the requirement of Canadian citizenship. So, yun, hindi naging madali sa akin dahil I have to go through the proverbial eye of the needle. Dumaan ako sa congressional hearing, parang legislative committee. Talagang general ako. Mr. Pagtaka, why should we grant you the bill? What makes you special? Why? Okay? So, ang pinaka-main argument ko to cut it short is, if you won't allow me, then I won't be able to pursue my career, and in essence, you'll be depriving me of my right to livelihood, which is protected under the Canadian Charter of Rights. Siguro nabawalan natin sila. So, pinal nila yung bill, and then it has to go through 3 readings. Ang mabigat na naman ito, noong December 17, that's the last session of the legislature. Ako lang mag-isa na sa gallery. Alam ni Ma'am Marjorie yun, sa gallery nanonood ako. 30 minutes na lang, hindi pa tinatawag ang bill ko. It has to go to 3 readings. Pag hindi natawag yun, on that session night, magko-collapse ang House, mag-adjourn. Start na naman ako next session from step 1, ano? And then again, so andun ako sa gallery, Lord, sabi ko, Lord, please. Maswerte naman, o blessing, in last 10 minutes, tinawag na ako yung bill ko for first reading. Then, mga last 5 minutes, sabi ko, ko, tulungan niyo ako. Tinawag second reading, and then, would you believe, last 2 minutes, tinawag for third reading. Hi, thank you Lord, sabi ko gano'n. Kaya after that, naipass yung bill, pinirmahan ng Lieutenant Governor, it became a law. So it's called now the Hermo-Pactacan Bar Admission Act of 1987. It's in the statute books of Alberta series of 1987. Kaya ako sinishare yun, hindi para mag-ibang boss. Sinishare ko yun para maano yung mga encourage yung mga kababayan natin na if there's will, there's a way. And strong faith also helps because then when you have faith, the Holy Spirit will enlighten you and will guide you and make a way for you. That's all.
Salamat.
Salamat, Hermo, for sharing that. Marjorie, maybe you want to share something about, immigration consulting. I know a lot of people, or people want to get into the field of not specifically siguro immigration consulting lang, but other fields that they can get into, no? So baka may ma-share ka na tips for these people who want to challenge some exams or professions here in Canada.
Okay, very quickly, I'll just start. So when dito sa Alberta, there are a number of organizations and resources that can help anybody find work and build their career in Alberta. I just want to mention, meron tayong Alberta Support Center. It provide employment programs and services across Alberta. There's ALIS, ALIS, provides career, learning, and employment information for Albertans. And then we have our immigrant serving agencies. And then in relation dun kay Sir Hermo, na if you're not happy with what you're doing right now sa current occupation mo, you can always upgrade, you could always improve yung education mo at saka training. And then there's funding. Pwede ka makapag-apply ng loan para to pay for your tuition fees kung gusto mo mag-upgrade, provide you with a living allowance, and so on and so forth. In my case, I was just fortunate that my first job in Alberta, when I arrived in Alberta 15 years ago, I worked for a law firm. I get to work with 4 lawyers, and one of the lawyers was an immigration lawyer. And then so I got my training from him. And then pero after that, sabi niya, if you're interested, why don't you take up immigration consulting? Sabi ko, yeah, but I have no money. Hindi ko naman alam yung mga grant noon.
Yeah.
And then I worked for a government after that, EPCOR, Capital Power. Pero when the company told me na wala na, hanggang dito ka na lang. Yung last occupation mo is executive assistant kasi you're not an engineer. Anong magagawa mo in a power company? Right? So that's when I made that decision. So buti na lang, honest naman sila, yung HR na, ito ka na lang. And then I cannot be an executive assistant forever. So I told myself, that's when I made the decision, okay, mag-aral ako, like Sir Hermo, sa gabi, after work, kasi remember, single parent ako when I moved to Canada. So I have a daughter na isusupport ko. So nag-aral ako and then immigration consulting for 10 months and then I took the exam, then I challenged the exam and then I applied for certification. Pero ang tip ko, before ka mag-upgrade, before spending all those time, before tsaka yung pera, lahat-lahat na, tingnan mo muna kung ano yung passion mo. Kasi yung immigration consulting, being an immigration consultant, or yung any occupation for that matter, kailangan you love what you do. So yung passion ko to help, yung passion mo to serve, provide information, you make a difference in the lives of people. Yun yung gusto ko eh. So you always enjoy doing it. So yun lang yung ma-share ko sa kanila. And then when they practice their occupation or their profession, with yung strong ethics, yung moral standards that would serve them as a guide sa kanila.
And okay, on that note, Solrat, kay Sir Eric, I know you mentioned Eric that you're into business right now. So sa mga immigrants naman na gustong maging businessman dito, maging entrepreneur, may ma-share ba kayo, Sir Eric?
No, kasi I don't know, bali siguro yung promotion natin kasi wala ako sa business niyan. Nagtatrabaho ako sa So anyway, nagtatrabaho ako sa kumpanya na kamukha ng Dollarama. I was there for 10 years, right? Ako nagsiset up ng tindahan nila across Canada, from coast to coast. when I joined that company, they only had 400 stores here in Canada. When I left 2 years ago, they had 1,100 stores, right? So, yun ang trabaho ko. I don't have my own business. I just work for a company.
I see. So, Solrak, for those people who would like to know more about the auto dealership industry, what can you share to them?
Maraming overhead, sir. Malaki ang overhead. Pero before anything, and the reason why I suggested to Sir Nicky na we want fresh minds na to share to our viewers, to our fellow kababayan syempre na there's a push na pwede nating gawin, na pwede tayong umangat, na pwede tayong somebody who he wants to be, di ba? Kasi a lot of the times, Sir Nicky, we've talked about this number of times na pag pumunta sila dito or nag-immigrate, not only in Canada, again, across the globe. Di ba, ang first things first for them all the time is talagang trabaho. Di ba? And then, ang nakakalimutan nila, like what Sir Ermo said kanina, sabi niya na parang, well, okay, kailangan kong mag-provide, di ba? Siyempre, isasantabi ko muna yung personal ko na gustong i-accomplish or kung ano man yung school or whatever it is na I want to take, I have to provide for my family. So, nangyayari, di ba, paulit-ulit eh. It's a broken record na ang nangyayari, imbes na yun na nga, ituloy natin like what Sir Ermo did, tinuloy niya yung kanyang pagpa-practice at he went for his yung kanyang pagiging lawyer, di ba? Talagang na para makuha niya yung sa Canada, yung license sa Canada. So same thing for the engineers, same thing for the doctors, same thing for everybody. Kasi di ba nga ganun ang nangyayari? Most of the time we get too complacent na okay, kumikita na ako eh. Sir, kumikita na ako, I'm okay. Di ba? I can provide for my family. Di ba? Ang hindi natin na realize, especially here in Canada, like what Sir Eric said earlier, napakaganda ng Canada at napakabait ng mga Canadians, di ba? Hindi lang
very good point kasi itong nagiging problema ng nakikita natin sa community. Lumalaki yung community, no? It continues to grow. Pero yung Pilipino, alam naman natin napakatalino niyan. Kahit saan mo dalhin, kahit saan mo ilagay, they will shine, Ang tanging problema is yung confidence, nakikita natin confidence. Pag pumasok dito, alam natin na gusto na magtrabaho agad, para kumita, and we do understand that. But marami sa ating mga Pilipino diyan na very, very qualified, pero takot, takot mag-challenge ng exam, nakukontento na lang na, for example, if you're a doctor, nakukontento nagiging nurse or and so on and so forth, dapat huwag kayo matakot, kasi in fact yung education na kinuha nyo, hindi naman kailan na we up to standards, right? May mga tinatawag natin na Canadian way, with due respect to the Canadian system. Obviously, kailangan intindihin mo yung procedurals nila, Iba, siyempre, nasa panibagong bansa ka, iba yung mga patakaran dito, right? Iba yung mga regulations dito. Yun ang mga bagay na kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin.
Yeah, and also, and again, nothing to say anything bad about what our fellow kababayans are doing, di ba? Wala kami sinasabing ganoon. Ang sinasabi lang namin is syempre, di ba, kung meron po tayong gustong marating or something, di ba? Let's fight for it.
Yeah.
Diba?
Solrak, can I mention something? Magandang galing out yan. I just want to emphasize that when you make that decision, there is no right or wrong decision. There is no right or wrong. Nasa sa iyo na yun eh. I want to point out na yung ginawa ko, bili mo everyday yon. From 9 to 5, magtatrabaho ko. And then from 6 to midnight o 1 o'clock, magre-review ako, uuwi ako ng bahay, gigising na naman ako ng 5 o 6. Then, repeat na naman, katulad ni Ma'am Marjorie, ganun din ang pinagdaanan niya. I want to point out the human element. there is a price you pay. And what is the price that I paid? Nawalan ako ng time sa panganay ko. Hindi ko masyadong na-enjoy yung fatherhood ba? Dahil survival eh. We have to choose survival, di ba? O, no? So, I just want to point out that you have to be ready. Whatever decision you make, there's no right or wrong, but you have to face and be ready to face the consequences. Yun lang po.
Maraming salamat.
Solrak, if I may add, no, ladies and gentlemen, isa sa mga I call, isa sa mga gusto kong mangyari talaga, kaya itong mga katanungan ng credentials, foreign credentials, na na-recognize dito sa Canada is because, alam niyo, napakahirap para sa isang immigrant. No? If you're a landed immigrant or kung worker ka man, papasok ka dito and you want to work in your field of profession, nag-a-adjust, ang daming pinag-usapan natin, no? You're not just adjusting to weather, you're adjusting to a new life, right? Hindi mo alam ang buhay dito, ano ba, how do you find a place, how do you rent, how is everything, how are you gonna secure a loan if you need to secure a loan. Ang dami mong inaasikaso, no? So in that process, marami kang nasasakripisyo, right? Tulad ng sabi ni Atty. Hermo. So, kaya pinupush ko talaga. I really want, and I've been pushing this hard, that the government should step in and try to bridge that gap, between the Philippines and the provincial government, Kasi sa dami po ng tinatawag natin na organisasyon, may mga organizations ng doctors, may organizations ng engineers, and so on and so forth. Kung papabayaan natin na maging ganito ang sitwasyon, masyado ring maraming tinatawag natin na red tape, di ba? Sa totoo lang. So, para medyo ma-enhance yung process, and mas mabuti yan kung from the country of origin, doon pa lang sinicertify na. Right? So kung let's say for example, bigyan ko kayo ng halimbawa, kung ang NAIT nasa Pilipinas yan, nagpadala ng professor dyan, testing professors going to the Philippines, nagpadala na ng modules yan, mag-aral sila doon. Ang mga nag-aaral doon na magma-migrate dito sa Alberta or anywhere else in Canada, meron silang support ng kin nila doon, So they don't have to worry about the weather or anything else, right? Magpo-focus yun doon sa pag-aaral nila, and then once they are recognized, then they can fly over. Immediately, magtatrabaho na yan. Na magtatrabaho na yan, it favors the government because nagbabayad na ng tamang buwis yan. Imagine mo kung doktor pumasok dito, nagtatrabaho bilang taxi driver. Anong saysay nun, di ba? How does that help the government? Solrak, what can you say about that?
Well, yeah, 100%. Kasi ganun talaga, di ba? Kailangan na meron na, like what you said, it's exactly what you said. Kailangan na talaga meron na tayong bridge. Di ba? Kasi, as of what, 2018 or 2019, who was the number one migration country that's coming in here in Canada? Filipinos. Diba? Not only in Alberta, I think even in Ottawa, it's the number one migrating mga national. Is that correct, Miss Marjorie?
Top source countries of immigrants po, I believe for the past 3 years.
3 years.
India, China, and Philippines. Pero 2014 po to 2017, I'm just not sure. Philippines po. But there's so many. There was a time na for so many years, Philippines po yung top source country of immigrants. It's just like 2 years ago na na tayo ng India, China, pero we're still on the top 3.
Yes, and that includes the foreign workers too, correct?
Yes, yeah, yes. And then sa international students, in 2020, we placed top 12 na source countries for international students sa Canada.
Diba? So that's the whole point. The whole point right there.
Yeah.
Having a Nikki, diba? So
yes, I think siguro Solrak, isa sa mga bagay din na dapat pag-usapan, ano? When you enter Canada, alam mo, siyempre pag pumasok ka sa Canada, hindi ka naman wala kang kulang ka sa kaalaman na tinatawag natin. And I think our resource today, right? Si Marjorie Newman, si Eric, and si Atty. Hermo. Because of them, marami tayong naihatid na na facts, no? Ito yung mga actual facts na kailangan yung matutunan yung mga bagay na ito. And syempre, in the course of your stay here or your entry into this country, some people get into trouble. So, let me ask Atty. Hermo. Atty. Hermo, ano bang do's and don'ts, no, ng isang bagong immigrant dito sa Canada? Because iba yung batas dito eh.
Follow the law. That's simplistic. Pero this is where the community through the organizations can come in. The organization, or pwede siguro tayo mag-initiate, we can hold periodic seminars, information seminars about the legal system in Canada, what you should do, the do's and don'ts, sabi mo nga, and then even Ma'am Marjorie can pitch in, di ba, about the legal system. So, that's where community support should come in. Kasi we cannot just rely on the government, Brad. The government is not the business of the government to orient the newly landed immigrants. Maybe they will provide funding, but it is mainly the task of communities themselves through their organizations to educate and inform and organize information seminars nga towards that. I think Ma'am Marjorie can answer something to that.
To protect ourselves as well, tayo mismo, mga immigrants dito, should be familiarize ourselves with that Canada has a system of laws, both made of federal, provincial, and local governments. Am I correct, Sir Hermo?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and then human rights in Alberta, they're governed by two federal laws, right? And also the one provincial. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom, the Canadian Human Rights Act, Alberta's Human Rights Act. So, yun yung starting point natin. We should also educate ourselves aside from yung community natin na will give us advice kasi it will to protect us and to protect our family po.
Ayun, that's very good. That's very informative. And I'm sure ang ating mga viewers at ang ating mga future listeners also na marami silang mapupulot, di ba? Katulad ng mga conversation natin tonight, I think again it's very very meaty. I like the word meaty kasi hindi lang talaga factual, talagang a lot of sense and a lot of help na makakatulong sa ating mga newcomers and syempre hopefully soon enough katulad nga ng sabi ng ang ating premier na syempre soon enough kasi syempre with the whole thing that's happening right now with the pandemia, medyo close muna natin yung di ba, yung mga immigrations sa mga foreign workers. So soon enough.
I just want to add, sir, that also as new immigrants, permanent residents tayo, right? Pagdating natin, we're permanent residents of Canada.
Yeah.
Then we have 3 years to qualify for Canadian citizenship. Now, ito na yung, by educating ourselves, it helps us and prepares us to take yung citizenship test. Kasi it's all about including human rights, including form of government, and so on and so forth.
Good point. So siguro, Solrak, before we wrap this up, I know, medyo overtime tayo. Alam mo,
mahabang discussion ng topic na yan, Brad. Mahabang discussion talaga.
This is just the first part of the series, and I'm really thankful to our guest tonight. Sir Eric, I'm not letting you off the hook, kasi maraming, Sir Eric, maraming mga Filipino, na they come here to work. Remember that. And
That's right.
What I want you to do is to share on the management side, right? As you say, you're not in business but you're in the management
yeah.
side. No?
Yeah.
So
That's a good.
ito napakahalaga kasi marami sa ating mga Pilipino, to be honest, are very good managers. So mag-share ka naman ng experiences and ng tips, you know, sa mga taong gustong you know,
Manager.
tularan ka, na to lead a team, a good team.
You know, kung gusto mo maging successful, gusto mo umangat sa kumpanya, right? You have to learn the culture ng kumpanya mo, right? And at the same time, kung magiging boss ka na, yung kultura, it has to be your culture. Hindi yung kultura ng tao mo, it has to be from you, right? And you need to be able to walk that fine line to be a good supervisor or manager. Walk that fine line between the worker and the management, right? Para maging successful ka, you know? And lalo mga Pilipino, minsan nahihirapan tayo magsalita kasi baka masaktan sila pa. But the best way is just to tell them straight up. You know, kung hindi ka papasok, tatanggalin kita kahit Pilipino ka or pinsang kita. Right? It's the best approach, right? And pag ginanon mo ang tao, kahit pa paano, they will respect you. Right? Kaya ang trabaho ko, the two jobs that I had here in Canada for the last 30 years, I started from the bottom. And nung umalis ako, I was way up there. You know? And yun lang pinalo ko. You know, respect and, you know, recognition sa mga tao gumagawa ng, you know, ng effort. Thank you.
Ayan. So, dami tayong natutunan na Solrak, ano?
Overwhelmed na.
Yes.
I'd like to say something, Sir Nicky. I'd like to congratulate you, Solrak, and Serian, and the Talalags Radio, no, for continuing to serve our community through your program. You don't realize, but you're educating a lot of your viewers, and a lot of your viewers learn from you guys. And I'd like to thank also the other panelists, you know. Maraming salamat po also for inviting me here. I feel greatly honored and privileged to be a part of the program in tonight's episode. Yun lang po. God bless all.
Salamat.
Salamat.
Really appreciate any parting words, Miss Marge?
Yes, sa lahat ng mga immigrants po na I would encourage you to pursue your dreams. Like you just said earlier po, go for it. If you decide to go and pursue your dreams, you'll give hope to others who want to do the same. You can serve to be their example and the reason why they should give it a try. You can help them, coach them, and then encourage them to keep going. Yun lang po. Thank you, and thank you very much for inviting me. Maraming salamat and congratulations.
Very good advice. And Sir Eric?
Yeah, so stay focused, mga immigrant. Why we migrated here, just stay focused on that goal, right? And use all the resource na nandyan, right? And that's all. And then, you know, maraming salamat sa pag-imbita nyo sa akin. And more power sa inyo, Sir Nicky and Solrak.
Salamat. Thanks for joining us and sharing your insights. Solrak, it's another very lengthy discussion. It's overtime, but you know, I know you guys don't mind because you're learning a lot of things tonight from the fourth estate. Etong partner ko si Solrak, magaling mag-isip, niya etong pinaka problema natin kung pumunta tayo dito hindi nga natin alam paano pumara ng bus eh.
You know what? I just want to say, guys, thank you for taking the time, and you guys, you know, we appreciate it very much. Katulad nga niya, sabi niya, may narinig ako kanina, first episode pa lang to. So hopefully meron tayong mga follow-up on this. Kasi syempre, hindi naman sa we're telling them where we are now or what we're doing now. It's how we got here, di ba? It's nothing about that. Kaya nga sa mga sinasabi natin sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, pagsasama-samahin ko na yung mga sinabi nyo, di ba? Follow your dreams, sabi ni Miss Marge, at continuing following your goals, and then syempre just being true to yourself and, you know, parang lead the way. Sa akin lang syempre, don't just dream, di ba? Kasi dreams don't work unless you do. So, do you, di ba? So, kung nasaan kayo masaya, katulad na sinabi nyo rin kanina, tawag dito, kung saan kayo masaya, syempre, doon kayo magsasucceed, doon gaganda ang buhay nyo. So, again, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat for being here. Sir Nicky, go ahead.
Yes, sa ating mga viewers, Mr. Vic Fulgencio, maraming salamat sa pagpanood. Evelyn Bailon, thank you for watching. Also, Teresa Coronado, thank you for watching. And sa lahat ng viewers natin, kung meron kayong mga suggestion o topics na gustong talakayin, let us know please. Just send us an email or a message, and we'll definitely look into it. Solrak, yes, maraming salamat sa ating mga guest panelists. It's been a wonderful night and very informative to our viewers. At sana marami silang natutunan. Kaya ako sinabi first part lang ito, Solrak, this week, because ang dami pang mga simpleng bagay na napakasimpleng bagay na iba dito sa Canada na kinalakihan natin sa Pilipinas, So abangan yun sa mga susunod na episodes, because doon kayo matututo ng mga simpleng bagay, na anong pagkaiba. Kasi dito may tinanungan ako, tapos nagmukha akong tanga Kaya tinanungan lang ako, hindi ako naintindihan kung ano sinasabi ko. So mga bagay na gano'n, napakasimple pero importante.
Tama po yan.
So maraming salamat muli, and have a great night and have a great weekend, everyone.
God bless everyone.
God bless.
Stay safe. See you all next Friday. Dito lang po sa The Fourth Estate, syempre, with your host, Solrak and Sir Nicky. Bye po.
See you later.
Thank you.